Welcome to Recovery Dharma, everybody. My name is Josh. I'm one of the facilitators here at the Spokane Sangha, and I am coming to you from Zoom down near San Francisco. Tonight, I was going to begin the meeting by reading a opening statement of dedication from the Recovery Dharma book. Julia asked me to read this as part of our opening ceremony tonight. And to begin, I'm going to invite my bell to ring just to bring us all here to this moment. We dedicate this book to the South Asian and Asian ancestors who protected and freely offered the Buddha's teachings to all. Buddhism originated in India and later flourished in other regions of Asia, including South Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and others. We express deep gratitude to the cultural heritage that our program is founded on. We recognize and appreciate that many of our meetings are held on ancestral indigenous ground that were never ceded. We honor those who have committed to the ongoing stewardship of this land. Likewise, we honor the communities of Black, Indigenous, and people of color, recognizing that systemic oppression and marginalization that members of these communities may have experienced in the world and in recovery spaces. We dedicate our practice to fostering collective healing and liberation from all oppressions, the tormenting cycle of addiction, and suffering as one human race. We wholeheartedly embrace all those who wish to pursue recovery as part of our community, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, age, disability, or nationality. With all of the joy and sadness, skillfulness and imperfection, striving and resting, grasping and letting go that rise on this path of healing and growth, we honor all those who have walked the grateful road of recovery in the past, present, and those who will carry on this practice in the future. And for those of you who are new to Recovery Dharma, that's from this book, which is the second edition, the latest edition of the Recovery Dharma book. And welcome, everybody. Good to see you. We're coming to the tail end of March, where this month we've been exploring the third noble truth, and reframed in Julia's way, um, that while the third noble truth in its Buddhist basics is that there is an end to suffering, we've reframed it here to make it a little more accessible, in that there exists a harmony that leads to the cessation of our discomforts. And we know that we will experience suffering and that there will be causes to that suffering, which we have reframed here as discomfort, which we will all continue to experience as long as we exist. And there will be conditions that cause that discomfort, big and small, external and internal. But with all of them, there is a harmony that can lead to the cessation of that discomfort. I'm growing to learn not to expect it to go away forever. Whatever is making me discomfortable now, uncomfortable now, is going to be replaced by something tomorrow. But um, it's this practice has a magic way of making that more tolerable, being able to understand it better, being able to see it more clearly. And in the context of my own habit energy, which led me around by wringing my nose for decades, this practice has really uh, made the sunshine brighter. Um, if you were here as we were opening the meeting, I was talking about having been visiting my youngest son in Southern California last week, and it was hot, 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 which was great. Very, very good vacation weather. And for those who keep track of the calendar, it was the first day of spring while we were down there. And there's something about spring. I don't think I'm alone. Coming out of the winter, uh, I'm not prone to seasonal affective disorder, and I live in a temperate climate. But even then, winter is winter. And as a metaphor, um, coming from the dark cold of winter into the bright springtime, uh, really, there's something in it that makes my heart sing. And so I prepared a little meditation on that topic. So if you'd like to join me, go ahead and find yourself a comfortable position, whatever works for you, in stillness or in motion if you prefer. If you are able to find a position of stillness, allow your body to settle in naturally. Let your hands rest wherever they feel comfortable. And if it's available to you, feel safe and comfortable, close your eyes or just soften your gaze. And begin by bringing your attention to your breath. Just notice the natural rhythm of your breathing without any need to change it. Simply observe the inhale and the exhale. Feel the breath as it enters your body and as it leaves. Perhaps you notice the coolness of the inhale as it comes through your nose or your mouth, filling your chest, expanding your belly. Maybe you notice the air is warmer as it leaves your body on the exhale. And as you breathe, allow yourself to arrive fully here in this moment, right now. If your mind gets busy with thoughts, that's all right. Nothing to fix. Just simply acknowledge any of your thoughts and gently return to your breath, allowing those thoughts to pass on by. Now, as you continue breathing, begin to reflect on the nature of discomfort. In this practice, we learn of the third noble truth. We're reminded that the end of discomfort is possible, that there is a way for discomfort to cease, not by force, not by denial, but through understanding, through harmony. As you let this idea settle, consider there's a harmony that exists in nature, in our minds, in our hearts. And when we align with that, discomfort begins to fade. As you breathe, bring to mind an image of winter. If you live somewhere warm or tropical, imagine somewhere away from where you are, somewhere in the north, in the mountains, where winters are dark and cold, snowy. Imagine a quiet winter landscape, blanketed in snow. The trees are bare, The ground is cold, perhaps even frozen. The air sits still and quiet. Looking at this landscape, notice that life seems to have withdrawn. As you look, there may be a sense of stillness or heaviness. In your mind, take a moment to really see this winter scene. Notice that the quiet and the apparent absence of growth is only on the surface. Beneath the surface, something's happening. Even in the coldest, darkest part of winter, seeds lie beneath the soil, roots of trees remain alive. The earth is not dead, it's simply resting, restoring itself, and preparing. And consider, in this same way, within moments of discomfort in our own lives, there is something deeper that remains untouched. There's potential and possibility. And there is the quiet presence of harmony waiting to be recognized. And as you breathe in, imagine drawing into that stillness of winter. And as you breathe out, allow yourself to soften into it. And then gently reflect. Just as winter gives way to spring, discomfort can give way to ease. It's not something we force into happening, it's something we allow. And as you continue breathing, start to imagine the subtle shift of your winter landscape as it moves towards spring. At first, it's almost imperceptible. The days grow slightly longer. The light returns just a little more each morning and each evening. Beneath the soil, seeds begin to stir, and you can sense a quiet awakening. Notice how this transition is not abrupt or harsh. It's gradual, natural, harmonious. In the same way, the end of discomfort does not always arrive as a sudden change. It can begin as a softening, a loosening of resistance, a moment of clarity, a gentle willingness to be present with things as they are. And as you breathe in, imagine that first warmth of spring touching the frozen ground. And as you breathe out, feel your body softening, releasing, opening. Even in the midst of discomfort, the conditions for its ending are already present. Just as winter contains within it the seeds of spring, moments of discomfort contain within them the potential for release, for healing and renewal. You don't need to create this harmony. It's already there. Your role is simply to notice it, to allow it, and to align with it. As you breathe in and out, bring your attention now to any areas of discomfort in your body or your mind, and without trying to change them, simply acknowledge that they're there. And then, rather than pushing these experiences away, Imagine holding them the way the earth holds the seeds in winter, with patience and steadiness and quiet care. As you breathe in, offer space for these experiences, these thoughts and feelings. And as you breathe out, release the resistance. You might silently say to yourself, this too can soften. This too can change. Now, return to the image of early spring in your winter landscape. Notice the snow begins to melt. Water flows again, the creeks. You hear the trickle turning into a rushing of water. Small green shoots begin to emerge from patches of the dirt exposed by the melting sun, by the melting snow. And life returns not because it was forced, but because the conditions allowed it. In our own experience, harmony works in the same way. And there is less grasping, clinging, less resistance. The natural state of ease begins to reveal itself. Discomfort fades, not because it was pushed away, but because it was no longer held so tightly. Now, as you breathe, gently expand your awareness to your whole body. Feel the weight of your body contacting the surface beneath you, whether seated or laying down or standing. Notice the breath moving through you like a gentle breeze through a landscape transitioning into spring. And once again, if your mind wanders, that's all right. Breathe and return to your breath. As we come toward the end of our meditation, reflect that even in the darkest, coldest moments, there is something within you that remains capable of growth and healing. There is a natural movement toward harmony. The end of discomfort is not something distant or unreachable. It begins here, in this breath, in this moment of awareness, in this willingness to allow things to unfold. There's nothing to add, nothing to take away. Simply be present and allow harmony to reveal itself. Namaste, friends. Thank you, Julia. And thank you, everybody else, for being here tonight. Always great to see every single one of you. And to close us out with a dedication of merit. May any benefit from this practice be shared with all beings. Just as winter gives way to spring, may all beings move from discomfort into harmony, renewal, and peace. Namaste.